Hello, are you an analytical and logical person who thinks that hypnosis just doesn't work for them, but you still want to overcome your fear of driving? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you why you're both right and wrong about hypnosis not working for you, and give you some alternatives that will work. So, let's get into this with, first of all, I want to explain what I mean about why you're right and wrong that hypnosis won't work for you. I work online with people to help them overcome their fear of driving, and many people will say to me things like, well, I really love your videos, but I'm so logical and analytical. I just don't think it's going to work for me because I've done all this lie down, relax, and it doesn't get me anywhere, and I don't believe hypnosis works. Well, the very fact that you've got anxiety proves hypnosis works on you, because you do realise, don't you, that your anxiety is hypnosis. I should say it's caused by hypnosis, but it's really the same thing. Think of it like this. You've probably seen these stage shows where a hypnotist is on a stage and they call people up from the audience and they put them into a trance, and they say, when you open your eyes, I'm going to clip my fingers, you'll open your eyes and you're going to believe that your chair, your seat is on fire. And they say, open your eyes. And the person's going, oh, my chair's on fire. And the audience is laughing, and this person genuinely thinks their chair is on fire. Well, you probably think, that'll never happen to me. I never do that. That wouldn't work. These people are just acting. It's just stupid. Well, what are you doing when you drive? You're driving along, and for absolutely no reason, you're panicking, your hands are sweating, your heart's thumping, your head's pounding, and you just want to get off the road, you need to escape, you need to pull over. That's just the same as the person whose chair is on fire. You're believing something to be true when it's not, because that's all hypnosis is. It's when you focus on something to the point that you believe it's true. So simply, you've got to filter a very quick explanation of how it works. You've got like a guard here, and if you remove the guard, which is hypnosis, you put a suggestion in someone's mind, then close the guard. This suggestion sticks because your subconscious acts on any suggestion it's given, apart from really dangerous and stupid ones. So you think your chair's on fire, your chair's on fire. You come out of hypnosis, the chair's not on fire. What I'm talking about is rubbish. So see, if you've got a fear of driving, you've just let something through past the guard. You can't drive, I can't drive, the car's going to crash and I'm going to die. And you know it's rubbish, because when you're not driving, you know it's nonsense. You're not going to crash. The bridge isn't going to collapse. How many times have I had people say, I just know that I can sit there for hours and hours and I can watch hundreds of cars go over the bridge, but I know that the second I go on the bridge, it's going to collapse. Rubbish, right? But what do you do about this? Because the way hypnosis often works for most people is you can remove the guard, take the suggestion out or put a new one in, and then replace the guard. And they think, I can drive, instead of, I can't drive. But what if you can't remove the guard? Because that's the problem with people like us, you, me. If you're analytical, I'm analytical. If I get told, close your eyes, then I immediately think, all right, so they're going to do something to me. Now, I want you to imagine this thing, I'm thinking, nope, I'm not doing that, because I don't like not being in control. That's what we're like, analytical people. We don't like other people telling us what to do. And it's not that we're rebels, it's not that we break the law. If you can see that the law is valid, you think, yeah, I'll do that. But you don't like being told you must do this, you have to do this. You don't like the thought of anyone beating you, getting you. The thought of anyone having access to your subconscious and secrets coming out, because we like to be in control, right? So what can you do about this? Well, the one way you can do it, and I've got a whole course online for free, there's a free and a paid one, and my courses all involve both hypnotic and non-hypnotic methods, because not everything works for everyone. You need to use different methods and adapt. So one way you can do that is, if you get a client who's analytical, you can find two things in their mind that contradict themselves. So for example, that thing I just said about the bridge, where I've had this where clients have said, I know that as soon as I go on the bridge, it's going to collapse. Okay, and this won't work for everyone. If you think, well, this isn't working for me, you have to adapt what you're doing to everyone, because everyone is unique. Remember, you're unique, just like everyone else. Right? So I might say to them, you don't just say, oh, that's rubbish, that wouldn't work, because things like that, they'll reject. So they say, I think the bridge is going to collapse. How? Well, when I go on it, it's going to collapse. I know it will just wait for me. Oh, so the bridge is waiting for you. Yeah. How does a bridge wait for you? I don't know, but I know that when I go on the bridge, it's going to collapse. You know that? Yeah. How do you know it? Because I just know it. How? Because I do. Who told you that? No one. Where's that rule written? It's not written anywhere. So what evidence have you got that it's going to collapse? Well, I just know it will. And you see, that's the kind of conversation you have with people. And it isn't easy. If you think it's easy, it's just a case of, oh, the bridge won't collapse. Oh, it won't collapse. Oh, I'm fixed. It is very difficult. And if you look back at what I was doing there, I wasn't just idly chit-chatting. There were specific strategies and rules of the mind you must know. And when you answer, I will counter your answer. And in a way, I'm almost trying to argue with you. And this is what makes me good at this, because ever since I was a kid, I've always had this thing where I can be quite argumentative. I like picking things apart. Do you see how it works? We're employing your analytical and logical nature to your advantage. You don't do what a lot of therapists do. And they say, oh, well, you must do this, you must lie down, you have to imagine a rainforest and you have to imagine a waterfall. What? I can't imagine a rainforest and a waterfall. They're not being flexible. They're working against your logic. You must work with the logic. So let's go back to that example. You say, okay, so what's going to make it collapse? And over time, people start to realise, you know what? No, I still think you've almost got them. Oh, no, I still think it's going to collapse. I'll say, okay, so what magic power do you have that's going to make bridges collapse? Magic power? What do you mean? Well, you don't believe in all this magic. You don't believe in all this woo-woo stuff, right? That's why you came to me. Yeah? So you don't believe in all this hypnosis and lie down and relax, but you do believe that you've got a magic power that as soon as you go on a bridge, it's going to collapse. And you slowly, bit by bit, break down the logic. And what happens is you will often find two statements that completely contradict each other, like just then. That may have been the breakthrough for that client. It may be the breakthrough for you. Let me know if it is in the comments. They don't believe in all this magical fantasy land rubbish, but they believe that they've got some magic power to make bridges collapse. And what happens is they either realise they're talking rubbish, or they actually do go into hypnosis, because sometimes what can happen is when you present someone who's very logical with a statement that totally contradicts everything that they've ever believed in, they actually close their eyes and actually go into a trance, and they start doing the thing they didn't believe in. And everyone says, oh, that won't work for me. Now, if you sit there and you deliberately block it, saying, nope, not going to work, go on then, you can't get me, nope, not listening, not listening, but then it won't work. Because if you block it, it won't work. You've got to want it to work. You've got to want the result. So do you see how people with analytical and logical natures are not beyond help? It's just you've got to work with them. And it is more difficult in a way. When I was trained as a therapist, I was told, if ever you get anyone who's logical or analytical, just run, don't touch them. Well, that's nonsense, because I would say 95% plus of the clients I get are logical. I hardly ever get what you call an easy client. The opposite of logical is this. Sometimes you get clients and you can just say to them, so what's your problem? And they start crying, oh, I'm crying. Oh, I've got this spirit within me and it's telling me I can't drive. And you can just say things like, what's the spirit saying to you? Oh, the spirit's telling me. And then they go into a trance. It's so easy with some people. You think I'm just sitting here doing nothing. If you're watching this video as an analytical person, that's probably not you, right? You may be like hiding your emotions. You don't like people knowing things about you. You're very secretive. That's what it's like. I was going to say more then, but this video is going to be too long if I go into that. If you want to see a part 2, let me know. So if you are analytical and logical, check out my online courses and use the non-analytical sections. If you want to work with me online, one-to-one, from anywhere in the world, contact me through my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.